up here is new. I can't stand it, just must land it.
Felipe Sena is a Brazilian content creator who documents explorations of haunted places, abandoned sites, and remote supernatural hotspots. His channel blends paranormal curiosity with bold solo challenges, often venturing into locations most wouldn't dare visit, especially not alone. In this episode, Felipe sets out to spend the night inside his car, parked on what is locally known as the most haunted road in the Sertão, located deep in the interior of Hidrolândia, Ceará. What was supposed to be a long but quiet night in his vehicle turns into something far more disturbing. He begins the journey by driving down a broken, isolated stretch of road, rarely used anymore. Though it was once busy, the road has since fallen into disrepair, now cracked and overtaken by wild overgrowth.
Uma árvore caída, família. Ela começou assim, ó. Aí, ó. A árvore caída já no meio do caminho. Oi. Deixa eu passar aqui a marcha agora, só com a mão, né? Olha como é que tá aqui, galera. Sinistro, viu? Eu tô até com o vidro aberto. Eu tô com medo aqui já. Tô com vontade de fechar esse vidro já. Olha como é que é sinistro aqui o lugar, família. Eu vou mostrar só uma parte aqui do lugar, família. Por quê? Porque senão o vídeo vai ficar muito longo. Só pra nós chegar lá vai ficar meio sinistro, se liga. Eita! A estrada tá ruim, família. Até um dia que eu não tinha andado pra cá, depois da chuva. Rapaz, eu pensei que já era o fim da linha. Eu pensei que tava no lugar errado, ó. É porque é a curva, menino. Então aqui tem casa assombrada aqui pra esse lado aqui também. Eu acampei aqui no rio, aqui próximo. Não vou mentir pra vocês não, cara. Foi sinistro. Deu medo mesmo assim que eu saí de lá voado. Negócio meio sinistro mesmo. Olha como é que é essa estrada aqui, família. É uma estrada que era bastante movimentada antigamente. Aí não sei o que aconteceu que ela parou de ser movimentada. Ficou tipo assim, não sei se foi porque ficou tipo abandonada. Uma estrada abandonada. Só que ela é boa, família. Só que a chuva tá acabando com ela, se liga. Bora lá, família.
The area is surrounded by dense brush, shadowy groves, and crumbling houses, some of which locals claim are cursed or occupied by spirits.
Olha que tem duas casas aqui na estrada também. Ai não, aqui é a casa assombrada. Bora ver aqui. Parar o carro aqui. O de mão tá meio ruim, galera. Deu certo. Aqui. Vamos até pra vocês verem. Não sei se vocês viram o relâmpago. Aí, família. Eita, escorregando. Me arrependo todinho nesse lugar aqui, ó. Casa assombrada ali, essas terras aqui, ó. O pessoal fala que é bastante assombrada à noite. De dia também, galera, mas de dia ninguém anda, né? Só eu aí, galera, nesse meio do mato. Deus abençoe nós.
Multiple legends surround the road, including reports of phantom lights, strange figures appearing in the middle of the path, and the unnerving sound of footsteps and dragging chains in the darkness. Felipe's plan is to park, lock the car, and try to sleep through the night while documenting the experience. Along the way, he passes by several abandoned structures, including one rumored to be a hotspot for sightings. He chooses a flat, quiet stretch of road where the space opens just enough for him to park off the main path. It's surrounded by thick bushland and fields, completely devoid of houses or streetlights. Though nervous, he sets up camp inside the vehicle. He talks about the stories told by locals, tales of lanterns glowing in the distance with no one carrying them, shadowy figures chasing motorcyclists, and unexplained whispers that follow travelers through the night. His original plan is to light a small fire outside, but the sound of nearby thunder changes everything. As darkness falls, the storm intensifies, adding to the growing tension. From inside the vehicle, Felipe begins to hear noises, faint at first, then more direct. The stillness is broken by the sound of the movement just outside the car. Leaves crunch, branches shift, then something presses against the car door. A light tug, a clicking sound.
Quem é?
He believes something, or someone, is trying to open the door from the outside. He rushes to check the locks. His arms are visibly shaking. One of the doors may have been briefly unlatched. The fear sinks in as he scrambles to relock every door, checking windows and holding the camera as steady as possible. For a moment, he can't tell if he's alone anymore. No faces appear, no figures are visible, but the presence is undeniable. His breathing becomes labored as he scans the mirrors and surrounding terrain. A sense of full-body dread takes over. He considers staying put, but every instinct is telling him to leave. Whatever is outside is too quiet to be an animal and too persistent to be imagined. He starts the car. As he pulls away, he passes a locked gate. The same gate he passed earlier now feels like an obstacle, something keeping him from getting out. He hesitates for a moment, wondering if something is waiting just beyond it. The fear is overwhelming. Still, he pushes through, driving into the night and leaving the road, and whatever was on it, behind. Felipe never saw the figure. He never caught it on camera, but he felt it, heard it, and for him that was more than enough. What did you think of this encounter? Let me know. Before moving to the next encounter, I just want to take this moment to thank and congratulate you all because we have crossed 50,000 subscribers. Our 50K special free surprise was revealed, and almost all of you seem to love it. I'm beyond blessed to have you as community, and I'm more committed than ever to bring you the best and most entertaining videos possible. I aim to take this channel to #1, and I will do that no matter what. So, subscribe and enjoy the show. Our next goal is 100,000 subscribers before August. Once we reach that, I'll reveal another awesome surprise for you all. Now back to the video. Uploaded on January 5th, 2025, this video from the Indonesian channel Om Mama New documents a solo overnight in a quiet remote plantation area, wedged between a rubber forest and oil palm groves. While the setting looks calm on the surface, it carries a dark history that continues to haunt those who spend time there. According to locals, this area was once the site of a violent land dispute, where multiple people were injured and at least one man was killed under brutal circumstances. His body, discovered with signs of extreme trauma, became the center of local legends. Stories of a restless spirit who now roams the trees, seeking justice or release. The creator is no stranger to eerie places. His channel focuses on solo horror camping, often in regions where spiritual activity is tied to past tragedy. But this night feels different from the beginning. The air is heavy. The stillness feels unnatural. There are no signs of other people or vehicles nearby, only the hum of distant insects and the dim glow of his campfire. The night begins like many of his others. He prepares a meal, sets up camp, and positions a CCTV camera outside to monitor the area around his tent. But before long, strange sounds start creeping in. Sharp cries from the treetops, rustling in the underbrush, and an unsettling silence that seems to swallow every natural sound. Just past 2 a.m., the activity intensifies. He hears a high-pitched wail, distant at first but progressively louder. He tries to stay calm, but then notices something that shouldn't be happening. His bike, parked just a few feet from his tent, begins to move. At first it's subtle, just a shift of the handlebars, but then it moves again, more pronounced, as if someone is slowly trying to twist the grips. There's no wind, no animals nearby. The movement is silent, almost intentional, as though whatever is out there is testing boundaries, trying not to be seen, but wanting to be noticed. He steps out with a flashlight. The brush remains still. Nothing stirs, but the air feels charged, and the sense of being watched becomes overwhelming. Later, while reviewing the CCTV footage from that same window of time, he finds something that confirms what he felt. For a brief moment, the camera captures a ghostly, translucent figure standing just beyond his tent. The figure appears only for a few seconds, motionless, barely visible, but its outline is unmistakably human. A pale form hovering in the dark, before fading into the trees. What's more disturbing is the timing. The figure appears just after the bike begins to move. He doesn't run, he doesn't scream, but his voice becomes quieter, more cautious. The rest of the night is filled with scattered knocks, shifting shadows, and long stretches of oppressive silence. At one point, he even questions whether staying until sunrise is worth it, but pushes through, driven by a commitment to face whatever the night brings. By dawn, the forest returns to quiet, but the atmosphere never lifts. The ghostly figure, the sound of that distant scream, and the inexplicable movement of the bike all point to something lingering, not imagined, but present. Just a series of quiet, escalating warnings, each one a little closer than the last. The Turkish channel Ramble Soul is known for its peaceful outdoor adventures, tranquil views, and minimalist camping trips across rugged terrain. Most of their content offers viewers a calming escape into nature, with warm campfires, slow cooking, and friendly conversation. But on this particular night, peace was nowhere to be found. From the start, things felt off. As they arrived at their planned site near a lake, the wind was already strong enough to make even setting up a tent nearly impossible.
Allah! Beni sürüklüyor. Allah Allah! Ya çakamıyorum da. Neresi önü neresi arkası onu da bilemiyoruz ki. Ay! Başımıza bela ya bu.
Şimdi şurası PVC.
Mecbur çakacağım şunu bir iki tane.
Tamam.
The terrain was exposed, the ground uneven, and the gusts unrelenting. The team struggled for hours just to secure the tent, constantly losing grip of poles and gear as they were ripped from their hands. Pegs wouldn't stay in the ground. The fabric snapped violently. At one point, the shelter nearly launched like a parachute, dragging itself across the campsite.
Hayır!
Of ya! Nasıl yapacağız biz ya?
Hop hop hop!
Paraşüt gibi oldu bu.
Ha.
Aa! Aa!
Geldim. Tamam, gel. Evet oluyor.
Ay.
Böyle. Çekemiyor musun?
Çekemiyorum.
Ah! Evet. Bas. Bas kuzu. Altına bas. Allah Allah. Ah! Bu ne lan?
Even once they got it partially stable, the victory was short-lived. Rain arrived fast and hard, soaking everything inside before they had a chance to seal it off. Mats, sleeping bags, even their floor covering, all drenched. Any attempt to dry off or take shelter only led to more frustration. Every gust of wind pulled the tent further apart. Their drone footage, captured earlier in the day, showed how beautiful this setting could have been. But by the time night crept in, the trip had turned into pure survival. Even their food and supplies were soaked, scattered across the flooded ground. What little cover they had was quickly losing structure, and with freezing wind and ice-cold rain blowing through the ripped seams, staying became not only uncomfortable, but dangerous. Inside the shelter, the situation didn't improve. Water leaked from seams, puddles pooled beneath their sleeping gear. A decision had to be made, and fast. They packed what little remained dry and called it, the trip was over. What followed was a rushed teardown in the rain, frantic packing, and a quick retreat to safety. And the dream of a cozy lakeside camp washed away with the rainwater. Back in the car, soaked and frustrated, they admitted defeat. What makes this encounter so impactful isn't a ghostly presence or cryptic figure in the forest. It's the overwhelming force of nature caught on camera in real time. It was a reminder that the wilderness doesn't need to be haunted to be hostile. It just needs a change in the weather. They had come to disconnect from stress. Instead, they were battered by the wind, drenched by rain, and left feeling like the forest itself had rejected their presence. Like you always do, let me know your thoughts on this encounter. On April 9th, 2025, this video was uploaded on the channel Man Dog Wild YouTube channel. It starts like most of his others, an evening dog walk in the mountains with his loyal companion Yeti. The setting is picturesque. It's a part of what locals call the Skinwalker Mountains, a region known for unexplained activity, unsettling sightings, and deep-rooted folklore. The evening begins quietly. The air is crisp, the light fading fast. As usual, Yeti leads the way, zigzagging across the trail with her usual burst of energy. But something changes. Without warning, her behavior shifts. She slows down, stops, waits.
Yeti. Yeti is either one of two things. She's a very simple dog. She's either completely unstable and constant zoomies, or she's very serious. And right now she's slowed down and she'll stop and she'll want me to follow her to take me somewhere or show me something. And at this point, now she's not going to stray too far from me because now she wants to show me something. We've just been out here exploring as we usually do around this time, you know, a little earlier than this. It's getting a bit dark now, and we've been on one of these abandoned roads that go to nowhere. They've just been left. Walking these dirt roads, and Yeti comes across this little trail. She slowed down and she wants to show me. See, she's right there. She's not running. She's not got the zoomies as she normally does. She's staying close by. She's scenting something.
Anyone familiar with dogs, especially hunting breeds, knows this isn't normal unless something's been sensed. And it's not long before her behavior pulls them both off the main trail and into a narrower path, one not often used, winding deep into overgrown terrain. The man follows without hesitation. This isn't the first time Yeti has guided him to something strange, and usually when she acts like this, it means she's found something she wants him to see. The trail feels different, quieter, more enclosed, and as the last light of the day disappears, he starts to feel just how far they've gone from the safety of the road. Then they find it. In the middle of the path, partially obscured by weeds and loose dirt, is a disturbing scene.
Yeti was checking out Mister. It looks like a... No idea. Wow. That's just scary, huh? Waiting.
A child-sized stroller, oddly placed in the forest, with what appears to be a doll inside. But it's not just the presence of the stroller that's unsettling. It's the effort someone would have taken to put it here. They're far from any neighborhood. There are no cabins, no campsites nearby. Whoever brought this here had to hike deep into the woods, carrying not just a stroller, but toys and possibly other objects. The doll's face is worn. Its eyes seem too bright in the fading light, and its expression is fixed in a way that's more eerie than innocent. But beyond the physical creepiness of the object, it's the location that feels the most wrong. This wasn't discarded trash. This was placed, deliberately. Not far from the doll, carved into a large slab of rock, is a symbol or sigil.
Well, at least we're out at that plantation now. What is that? It's creepy, huh? What is that? So this is where she leads us. I don't know what. That's super strange, huh? Like burnt into the rock. So obviously these mountains are strange places. Someone's come out here and made this. They've made this and I don't know what to make of this. What's your guys' thoughts on this? I have no idea. Maybe it's some kind of worshipping thing. Maybe it's just a sign. Maybe hunters. Kind of marker. I don't know.
Blackened and burnt into the surface as if scorched there by fire. The shape is abstract, possibly tribal, possibly ritualistic, but no one could say for sure what it means. It's too deliberate to be random. The creator speculates whether it's some kind of marker, perhaps for hunters, or even something more spiritual. But the burned-in appearance gives it a darker edge, one that raises far more questions than it answers. The encounter doesn't end there. As he begins to leave the area, he notices something across the ridge.
I'm not going the way of the plantation. That's just way too thick, so I'm figuring I'm gonna go around. I definitely saw lights. Caught a video also. I took a look. And I don't know. Obviously, maybe we kind of did the same thing, and we all turned our lights off and moved away. But when I turned around, I couldn't see the lights anymore, and yeah, they probably couldn't see mine. But the strange thing was, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the sound. It's a really high kind of pitched sound frequency, whatever. I think they call it a mosquito or something, and they use it to move people away from places they don't want them hanging out. So when I stopped, it had this ringing in my ears. It's horrible, really high pitched.
Lights, just barely visible, blinking and shifting in the distance. He pauses and watches, unsure whether they're flashlights, vehicles, or something else entirely. When he turns his light off to remain hidden, the lights vanish. No sound follows. No figures appear. But the fact that someone, or something, was moving nearby is enough to increase the tension. Then comes the sound. It's not a voice, not an animal call. It's a high-frequency tone, sharp and persistent, almost like a dog whistle, but louder, constant. It pierces the air with no clear source, and it's familiar. He later recalls hearing about similar sounds used in urban areas to deter people from lingering in places they're not welcome. But here, deep in the mountains, its presence feels intentionally placed, like a warning or a signal. Despite all of this, Yeti remains unusually calm. No barking, no pacing, no attempt to chase whatever was out there. And for a dog that usually responds to every sound or scent, that stillness is almost as unsettling as the events themselves. He leaves the area quickly, taking a longer but clearer route back to avoid retracing the same trail. He never sees the lights again. The figure behind the sound is never revealed, and the burn marking on the rock, still a mystery. Hunting the Unknown is a UK-based paranormal exploration channel run by a solo investigator named Alex. His content is raw, unpredictable, and often filmed alone in the dead of night, a mix of urban exploration, ghost hunting, and experiments with spiritual tools. On this particular night, Alex decides to combine paranormal exploration with the Randonautica app, a tool that generates random GPS coordinates based on user intentions. His goal for the night is simple: ask the app for something haunted and follow it wherever it leads. He sets his intention to something spooky and haunted, and within seconds, the app marks a location deep in the woods, not far from a rural church and what looks like a forgotten cemetery.
It's a legit crypt. Oh mate, church bells are going. I don't want to go in there, guys. Wow. There's cemeteries here, guys. It's a crypt. This is legit. The pin is in this vicinity I'm in now, where the pin is for an interesting point.
It's 3 a.m., bitterly cold, and the area is completely deserted. The kind of place where headlights feel out of place and streetlights simply don't exist. As he arrives at the pinpoint, he's led down a wooded path that opens up to an abandoned mausoleum. The structure is old, weather-worn, and partially crumbling. The surrounding gravestones are shattered, some overturned, and the forest seems to press in from all sides. The deeper he walks, the heavier the atmosphere becomes. He starts to hear screams, not distant ones carried by the wind, but clear human screams.
What? I swear I heard someone scream. What the is that? Whoa. It's going off, it's going off. It's hard to see in there, guys. Shh.
At first, he thinks it might be nearby houses or animals, but there are no homes nearby, no people, just the woods and the mausoleum. Then his EMF meter spikes in his pocket. Suddenly and violently, he pulls it out, watching the lights dance. He begins asking questions, and the responses seem to follow. He turns on his spirit box, a device that sweeps radio frequencies to let spirits communicate. What happens next pushes the encounter into truly terrifying territory.
Can you tell me my name, please? Who are you? Oh my god, I just said my name. I swear I said my name. Can you come forward? Can you touch that device to me, please?
Through the static, a voice speaks, and it says his name. This isn't vague or misheard. It's direct. The voice cuts through the noise and clearly repeats his full name. The idea that something unseen not only recognizes him but was expecting him adds a whole new layer to the night. He continues the session, but the environment around him feels like it's closing in. The temperature drops rapidly, down to -4 degrees Celsius. His gear begins to malfunction. His camera shakes in his hand as his breathing becomes more ragged. Then another scream, louder this time, closer.
Oh. What the f was that? What the f?
It's enough to make him shut off the spirit box and regroup. But the forest offers no peace. The mausoleum looms behind him, the road has disappeared into the blackness, and whatever is watching doesn't feel like it's finished. He finally decides to leave. He doesn't walk, he runs, sprinting back to the car, fumbling with the keys and getting inside without looking back. There's no final message, no dramatic confrontation, just the kind of fear that comes when you realize the location didn't just match his intention, it may have been waiting for him. It's the kind of encounter that doesn't end when the video cuts, because what followed him out of those woods, if anything, wasn't visible. But the name, the knocks, the voice on the spirit box, they all point to something intelligent, something connected. And when the unknown knows who you are, it's no longer just an exploration. It's a warning. What did you make of this encounter? Let me know your thoughts. Posted on October 29th, 2024, By the channel, the journey is the destination. This video follows a solo investigator named Jay as he ventures deep into a location known locally as Witch's Swamp. It's a place wrapped in legend, a cursed patch of land where, in the 1700s, a woman accused of witchcraft was executed. Locals say her spirit never left. Over the years, witnesses have described ghost lights, phantom voices, and humanoid creatures emerging from the shadows. Some say it's haunted, others say it's something much worse. Jay begins the night already on edge. He spends nearly 45 minutes sitting in his car, trying to calm his nerves before stepping foot into the swamp. Even though the temperature outside is a mild 63 degrees Fahrenheit, the moment he enters the woods, the air drops drastically. Breath becomes visible. The cold is unnatural, almost intentional. As he makes his way deeper, everything feels wrong.
My heart is racing right now. I have no idea why.
Shadows dance where there shouldn't be any movement. Footsteps crunch nearby, but no one appears. The wind is still, yet leaves flutter. Then he sees something.
I don't know if this camera's picking it up or not. Something is moving. What is that? What the freak did I just see? It almost looked like some weird human thing standing there, and it moved as soon as, oh my God. I don't know.
A pale, humanoid figure, tall, hairless, and seemingly unclothed, standing eerily still before disappearing into the darkness. It doesn't show on camera, but Jay describes it vividly. Around 5 feet tall, no hair, and black eyes. His flashlight reveals nothing, but he swears something's walking alongside him. Breathing becomes difficult. A headache blooms behind his temple. Something is affecting him, mentally, physically, maybe even spiritually. He begins asking questions through his spirit box. The responses are immediate and disturbing.
Demon child.
What? I got that response out here as well, but it was in a different video out in that parking lot. Oh man. Look, there's one of those situations. There's a leaf moving right there, and nothing else is moving. There's no wind at all tonight. Look how still everything else is. Even all those dead leaves right there aren't moving.
Over here.
Whoa, something just fell over there. Over where? Right or left? Ice cold breeze just came from this way.
One of them calls him Demon Child. It repeats multiple times, once out by the parking area earlier, and again deeper into the swamp. At first, he thinks it might be directed at something else, but the more the phrase comes through, the more it feels like they're talking about him. Maybe because he's investigating. Maybe because he's not welcome. He feels watched, like dozens of eyes are locked on him between the trees. Every direction he turns, it's as if something has just ducked out of view. Then something even stranger happens. A cold breeze sweeps through the area, and instantly, his camera light dies. The battery was full, an hour's worth of charge, but it's gone. Just seconds after he mentions the temperature drop, he realizes he may have allowed this to happen. Earlier in the session, he invited the entities to use his equipment to communicate, and they did. With his backup flashlight in hand, he tries to push on, but the pressure keeps mounting. The woods feel crowded, dense, not just with trees, but with something else. The kind of presence that doesn't need to be seen to be felt. Then he sees a light in the woods. It shouldn't be there. The swamp is isolated, 4 miles into the forest, with no direct roads and no other hikers or investigators nearby. He's alone. Or he was. Jay doesn't get answers, but he doesn't need them. He's felt the presence, seen the figure, heard the voices, and watched his gear fail under the weight of something that wanted him gone. And when the swamp grows colder, quieter, and finally tells him to leave, he listens. Because sometimes it's not just spirits or strange entities that push us out of the woods. Sometimes it's the forest itself, ancient, unyielding, watching. And when the trees decide you're not welcome, it's not fear that drives you out, it's respect. With this final encounter comes the end of another episode. You know what to do, but if you don't, let me remind you again to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment about what you liked and didn't like about this video. We always look to improve our video quality so you get the best videos possible. In about 3 seconds, there will be more disturbing videos on screen for you to watch, and with that, I'm out.